single thread of dead silence, trying to drown out all the noise. I'm trying to make sense of the miserable days that I've led. They're the reason for the hot red blood flowing through me. So come together, it's time to get hurt and feel all the tears that you can shed. The dream that we made, the pattern has changed. Now it is blooming as it spreads. So formulas bend, I'm holding my pen. I'm gonna learn the secrets of this life. All the rules that are unknown right now. We want the same thing, the answers to the world. I know you had imagined, and from right here I did the things that till now I have imagined. Even more, pushing way beyond the limits I had imagined. Standing here, right in the spot I thought I dreamed of. Who in the world can find impulse from the pure star we all came from? The force of life is spread so wide in primary colors. Who in this world can find an impulse from pure brightness in our souls? Spreading these, the primary three that make our lives. Sarah is scrapped, a paper roll blank. Watch the burning up, then turn to black. But then as it fades, it accumulates. So tell me where the next one's coming back. If tomorrow there's a color somewhere waiting for us, we will paint it with primary colors, the ones that we can see. Living in a world that reminds me I'm worthless every day. No matter if I reach for it, it's still so far away. Whoa. Woke up in a dream I couldn't touch. The closer that I walked, the farther that I got. Somewhere deep within there is a voice. The scene starts to wake. The sun fills the void. Even though I can't stand straight, I will find my way. I will find the meaning lost in the dark. Living in a world that reminds me I'm worthless every day. No matter if I reach for it, it's still so far away. Tell me what to throw away, just so I can touch it with my hands. I have tried so many times to scream it out loud. When it's done, I am just myself, I wear it proud. Whether it is fiction or real life, a lot of ever done is try. Someday I will go beyond. The feeling of the open and the sky, without a place to go, I felt so terrified. No matter how many times I fail, your smile gave me strength to get back up again. I may not be worth a lot, but I will find the light that will forever shine so bright. Even without a map to guide, I know I can run it on my own. Anywhere, I'll make it there as fast as I can go. Following the light that shines, I know that my fate is mine to ride. I have tried so many times to scream it out loud. When it's done, I am just myself, I wear it proud. Whether it is fiction or real life, a lot of ever done is try. Someday I will go beyond. Don't care if I fall down, crying on the ground. All the sadness and the gloom, like a fool, it will bloom. Let's go. Keep it up high, run towards the starlight. It's okay to just enjoy the moment. Trembling, I gotta take one step. Drowning, but I gotta take one step. Breathing and I'll start it with one step. Hands down. Why even bother if today never ends? What would it mean if the good times lasted forever? Distraction every day, naturally. Can't let it all get in the way. I'm dreaming, my mind rewinds. I just can't feel the hole inside of my heart. So let's get out, escape from the dark of the night. The future unknown seems to twist and distort itself unless we look straight forward. I'm sick of lying to myself. Got to stand up straight and fight. Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, not a future. Time to pay for all of my mistakes that I made without an ounce of shame. I moved on and threw my life away. Thank God I got it while I could. I nearly gave it all away to an unknown and empty fate. Dead eyes that know the price that I paid, and if they could only just focus on today, maybe they'll shine. What's going on? I'm in your life, but I still feel left behind. Every day there's something off. Is this what I wanted? What's going on? Is this a game? 'Cause nobody else is quite the same. The possibilities of opening up. Tense, I cannot feel the meaningless, living nothing at all. New days I see up ahead as I write my very own story. Do your best, are you excited? The turning point, break through the synapse. I'll do it, I'll prove I can handle it all. Hey, hey. Can't feel the hole inside of my heart. So let's get out, escape from the dark of the night. The future unknown seems to twist and distort itself unless we look straight forward. I'm sick of lying to myself. Got to stand up straight and fight. I keep my ideals with me each time, 'cause dreams and love so dangerous. The fuel that we need to light the fire. Goals are ringing out now. My fate is mine. Yeah, mine.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Flynncast Friday. As always, I am your host. My name is Flynn, and I'm super excited to be hosting you guys on a Friday evening. Today, we have ourselves 4 guests, not including myself, and we are going to be talking about the newest patch that just dropped in King's Raid last week, and we're going to get everybody's thoughts and see what everybody thinks of the general direction of the game. We'll follow a very similar template to our last podcast stream. I'll leave that on auto. We'll do some shag farming while we kind of talk with everybody in the community, and we'll kind of get some of everybody's general thoughts. So I hope you guys are kind of excited, and towards the end of the stream I have a 10 question trivia challenge, and we're gonna give out some cool prizes, including some participation prizes. So as long as you participate, you'll definitely get something after the stream. So we got ourselves a nice full schedule for you guys today. So I hope you guys are strapped in. I hope you guys are excited, because we're essentially ready to get going. Welcome, Prince Reagan. Thank you for the follow. And I think just for the rest of the stream, I am going to go ahead and mute stream notifications. I hope you guys don't mind. And I will thank everybody for the follows towards the end of the stream. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and join the Discord call, who... this is the guy who's been here for a half hour already. I'm going to go ahead and join the Discord call that my guests are already in, and I'll have them introduce themselves one at a time and give them a little information about themselves. So, let's go ahead and get our guests introduced. Good evening, guys, and thank you guys for joining me today. So with that kind of said, you guys kind of heard the initial clip that I'm going to go ahead and have you guys introduce yourselves, and we're going to get our podcast off the ground. So Earl, you actually joined me last stream, but go ahead, give yourself another introduction to everybody, and tell us who your favorite hero is.
I'm Big Earl on any server, pretty much just World Boss 1 focus. If anything, favorite hero is probably a net.
All right, and yes, Big Earl is definitely on the PvE side, so it's kind of awesome to have him here for the Shakma stream. Jen, go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us who your favorite hero is.
Hey, I'm To Be Generous, or Holiday K if you have me added in King's Reign. I'm on the NA server, mixed between PvP and PvE, trying to get more into PvP if I can. My favorite hero, probably a toss-up between Luna was the first one that I liked. Nyla's been someone else that was kind of close there before she got buffed. If you know me, I've complained a lot about Nyla before she got buffed, so I was glad to see that happening now that she's finally getting a lot of love, although maybe a little bit too much love, so hopefully not too many people are playing her, but that seems to be the case. So we'll see what happens in the future with that one.
All right. I know everybody in chat at least have heard of the infamous Bravel. Bravel, go ahead, give yourself a quick intro and tell us who your favorite hero is.
Hi everybody, I'm Bravo and I'm specialized in PvP, and I guess my favorite heroes are Audi and Gao.
Audi and Gao?
Yeah, and why do you say infamous? What do you mean by that?
Don't worry about it, everybody knows you.
Alright.
And welcome Giraffe as well. Go ahead, give yourself a quick introduction, Giraffe, and tell us who your favorite hero is.
Hey, I'm Basic Giraffe. I'm kind of new to the whole streaming scene, but I mostly do a lot of PvE, and I've been doing way more PvP than I like. And if you don't know, my favorite hero is Theo.
So it's actually really funny because I'm listening to everybody here. It's kind of funny. A lot of our favorites in here are actually husbandos today. So we have a kind of a husbando team plus Earl's Annette. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. We got ourselves a full pack schedule and kind of talk about some of the stuff that came down from last patch. I'm looking at chat. Chat is definitely already reacting to kind of everybody. Everybody's getting some hearts. And obviously, I guess I forgot to introduce myself. I am Flynn. I am one of your creators. I am also brand new to the streaming scene. I do this for the fun of it. And everybody, I think, in here kind of knows my favorite hero is obviously Castle. So I think with that, we're ready to kind of get started. So... now that we got our introductions out the way, let's go ahead and start with the patch recap. So I guess we'll start with Draft. What did you think of the last patch that dropped on Tuesday?
I'm kind of hyped. Like, I'm excited to try out these new artifacts and definitely all the event stuff. Zera seems kind of interesting. Always excited for new heroes. I don't know. I'm still trying to like get through a lot of Shockmate content, so I think it'll be really interesting to see how that all ends up.
Well, we definitely will be talking about Shockma in general as we go along. Earl, what did you think of the patch that just recently dropped?
Pretty stoked for the new artifacts. I mean, PvP I don't really delve too much into, but the new sword is already better than a high star Book of the Mad, which is crazy. So I'm looking forward to running that in World Boss once I get that rolled up.
All right. Jen, I know your relationship with King's Raid has been on and off, but what did you think of the patch that dropped on Tuesday?
What I've played so far, I've enjoyed it, especially the story. They've been putting a lot more effort in their story recently, and ever since Chapter 9.2 was like a big thing for that, and I'm really enjoying the effort that they've been putting into that, especially with the new characters and introducing them that way. I haven't done too much with Shakma yet, since, like I said, I'm still progressing. The one thing that I've seen when I was watching Gwynn's stream and your stream as well, the artifacts are really interesting. I'm liking the one, I think it was the helmet. It was the one where you get increased max HP.
Yeah, helmet.
And the helmet that looked very interesting for PvP.
All right, we're definitely going to be talking a lot about the artifacts later on in the podcast. Bravo, what did you think of the patch that dropped?
I think the patch was massive. It was like there was a lot of content to do. I was a bit bombastic by the amount of things they put into that update. It was like there was Sharkmare, there was new artifact, there was Sarah with her new gimmick, and a lot of people were like hyping about her backstory. We also have like a lot of like extension to the story, and yeah, I went through it like in one night, and it was a lot. The only thing about it is that the timing is pretty unfortunate because I got distracted by other games. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
I think everybody knows Animal Crossing released at the same exact time, so everybody's been distracted with Animal Crossing.
It was literally the same day, so it was like yeah.
So the content, so the patch was actually pretty big, I would definitely say. And let's get past the initial server issues because the servers definitely got bombarded, and we all knew what the first few hours after maintenance were like. But one of the coolest things and one of my favorite highlights, even though we had a lot of new content, was the release of the costumes and more of them with unique animations. What did you guys think of the costumes? Did you pick any of them up, Giraffe?
No, I completely forgot about the costumes, honestly. I was just bombarded with like all the mission stuff and really wanted to get into the Shockmay fights.
Okay.
So I was
Earl?
kind of one.
I'm sorry, Giraffe. What was that?
No, you're good.
No, Earl, did you pick up any of the costumes?
Nah, I haven't comped any of them yet. I've been holding off on costumes for a while now.
Jen, I'm not sure. Did you see any of the new costumes? Did you pick any of them up?
I've seen them. I've looked at them. I'm debating.
It's still debating.
I'm not quite sure. I probably will. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Bravo, I know you probably don't have enough rubies.
I did like some costume. It's just that some of the costume is like they're good, but they're not as good as the current costume that I have for some of the heroes. And other heroes, I don't use them, like Krisha, so...
And to everybody in chat, yes, there was definitely a lot of brand new costumes. If you guys saw the brand new set of school costumes, you know, Scarlet, Chase, Ladia, Zephyr. Yeah, Aurora kind of named them off in chat.
Band costumes, right?
Yeah. Esker, Priscilla, Krisha, a lot of them. Asilica as well. I think those were pretty much the main 8. But they were really incredibly cool, in my honest opinion. And they included... Zephyr is ugly though. Yikes. They were unique animations, which was really cool, and I love to see more costumes with unique animations if the devs continue to go in that particular route. Outside of that, you know what? Let's talk about before we get into the details. What was your favorite highlight, Giraffe, of the patch that dropped?
I don't know. Like I did like all the rewards we get for the missions.
That was a really big part of the patch, was the increased rewards and the remade rewards and the addition of Estelle.
Yeah, but I hated the fact that you had to go back and do a lot of them. Because it's like, oh, I have all of these unique weapons that are 2-star or higher, but they made me go back and make 2-star treasures and 2-star weapons. But they didn't make me go back and do an A1 SW. So there was a lot of like those kinds of things where it's like, okay, they're just going to give it to me instantly. Then for a lot of the other ones, it's like, oh no, you have to go back and do this. So there's a lot of like, oh, it's really cool for the awards, but why do I have to go back and do these like stupid quest things?
I guess maybe it was, in my opinion, and this doesn't mean to be an actual official answer, but it's probably to try to get both newbies and veterans re-involved. At the end of the day, though, I saw it as, you know what, a lot of free rewards to everybody in general. So that was incredibly cool.
Yeah.
Earl, what was, in your opinion, probably the best part of the patch for you?
Probably the revamp on the rewards too, because you get so much free stuff. I mean, obviously, there's like my major gripe was like the trials portion. You have to pretty much do almost a month's worth. You have to do like 3 weeks or so, almost 4 month, almost a full month, to get like the complete, soul weapon selector and enough frags and whatnot. So, but I mean, it's just a minor gripe. Overall, it was a pretty good update.
Jen, were you able to discern a favorite portion of the patch or not yet?
Hands down, the rewards.
Hands
one
down.
of the coolest-
A lot of freebies, huh? Everybody's like, ooh, freebies.
Not so much the freebies, just the way the system was consolidated. It's like a one-stop shop to go do a lot of the things in one spot with Estelle. Like, that's really cool. I wish it was there earlier. I mean, you can always say that when you make systems like that to help new players get acclimated to the game, too. And Stockade wasn't in that too, was it? Or was that before that? That change that they made with
The Stockade was
maybe
slightly before.
awesome.
That was an awesome. I do agree that Stockade change was definitely awesome. It made dailies a lot easier.
Coming back and playing again, those two things and saying that were like the hands down like two of the cooler things that I've seen that they've done.
Bravo, what was your favorite portion of the entire patch?
I would say the reward is great, but I really am interested in the PvP artifact too, the new one.
And the new
shiny
items.
artifact. Yeah, and I mean the reward is great and all, but I kind of hate the math girls because of that. Since you have to like click on her, make her dance, make her pointing, a lot of time consuming to claim all the rewards. Yeah, you understand what I mean. If you
Yeah,
like,
she sits there and
oh
she
my gosh.
dances. I mean, it's cute. Maybe a lot of us are probably finding it a little over or a little annoying because we're veterans, so we have a lot to collect and a lot to go through. But I think, as intended, where you're collecting one at a time, I think it's just kind of sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it gave us content to do, so like a lot of people like are more tempted to do guild red right now just because like, oh yeah, there's like a reward for doing guild red a certain number of times, and a lot of people care about League of Honor because it gave like a UT ticket. So
Definitely
that's
a
great.
lot of freebies.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest, my actual favorite part, and I've been able to run Big Boy Shakma a few times. Obviously, we got the one trial on the story clear, and then I did Big Boy Shakma number 4 with the first 100 clears, and then I did Big Boy Shakma 5. And I gotta say, I've been really enjoying Big Boy Shakma. We'll definitely get more into that later on in the podcast, but I think my favorite highlight was definitely Big Boy Shakma. I think with that kind of said, though, I think we kind of got to express our feelings. I'm looking at chat and just kind of keep up with everybody saying. It says, like, why did they force us to play the game? Yeah, I mean, it's a game. You kind of got to play it for every once in a while. You can't auto everything. Kafer says he wishes that they would take books out of the game. It's a hassle for new players, and old players don't really care. Also, they should rework the 28-day rewards. So I think every once in a while they do rework the 28-day rewards. I do agree about the books portion. I think the books are getting a little tedious, and I would definitely say for new players, I think it's just an unnecessary gate. And then for us older players, we just accumulated so many books over time, we don't even really think about it anymore. Giraffe, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I just started another account where it's just tanks only, and that has been an uphill battle. But also, like, I've also seen, like, man, you do not get books very often, and it takes a little too long, and then it's just like, oh, I might as well just pay gold to upgrade my skills than farm books. It just takes away from story. It slows the game down a little bit. Because then I'm just left going, oh man, rather than getting fragments or getting gear, I have to focus on upgrading skills. It's just one extra thing, and I don't know if that's meant to just kind of like hold back people just enough that they aren't like blazing through, but I think they could do better.
Okay. All right. Earl, what are your thoughts about the books?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting tired of having like 8K plus books in my inventory. It's like just rotting. I mean, it's fine when you can just instantly like max out a hero upon release, but they've been selling packs for this left and right nowadays. So it's nice to have them.
Like I said, I think a lot of us for veteran players, we really don't think too much about books just because we just accumulate them over time. So we don't really think too much about it. Jen, what are your thoughts on the books?
I agree with that, what everyone said. They could also go down the route of giving us something to do with the books. I don't know what they would do. And could be kind of interesting to mess around with a system where you could do like augments for the skills, but they already do that for Transcendence perks.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure. I mean, either get rid of them at this point or revamp the system to allow us something to dump the books into and have a reason to do it.
Okay. All right. Bravo, what do you think about the books?
I want to second the point where Jen said want to do something like a revamp to improve the skill. The only problem with that is that I feel like that will give the veterans like a very big advantage compared to newer users. And yeah, I do understand the time where I have to reset the stockage just to get more book, which is, now that I think about it, it's a bit of a waste. But right now it's like book doesn't serve much purpose for the old player, and they probably need to do something about it.
I'm kind of also reading on chat because chat is putting in their 2 cents on the entire books. A lot of them are also saying probably skill books are probably a good way to revamp because, at this point, they're kind of like a very old mechanic. Really funny comment from Lovin' Your Realty. He said, remember when skill books were gated based on which day it was? I think we all remember that one. Where it was gated literally by which day of the week you could farm which book. I thought that was really, really funny. Yeah, I think we're pretty much all set. Prefer or crafting material. That's also definitely another way to do it. That was Gwen's comment. Maybe transform it into can incorporate a trade system. Every 100 of an X book equals an amount of gold. That's actually definitely a really good way too. Yeah. All right. So I think with that kind of said, we can actually start our main bread and butter and our main content. And our first one is definitely going to be our favorite new hero, Zera, which has been a highlight in the past 2 weeks. And a lot of us are curious how she does in PvP and PvE. So let's go ahead and kind of start the conversation with her PvE portion, which is, I believe, is probably going to be the bigger side of the conversation. So, Giraffe, did you get a chance to actually try out Zera?
I only use her for Shockmay, and that's about it.
Okay, so that, which is completely fair. And I'll be honest, I definitely think that this is content kind of geared for her in specific. But how do you think she does? I've seen a lot of Zera Shockma clears and videos and how she does. What are your thoughts on Zera and her performance in Shockma?
I don't like it. Honestly. Because, I mean, personally, I hate when I have to use a specific hero, or else I just fail. And so it's like, I could use Visca, but I just don't have her built. And, like, even with a dagger, I still don't drain mana as well. But, like, Zera seems to be like, if you don't have Zera, you're not going to be moving as well through Shockmay. And, like, the more I'm doing Shockmay, the more I feel like I need to invest in her, or else I'm not going to be able to hit. Like, I'm still bashing my head on stage 7.
I see.
So, and I'm barely clearing 6.
How come?
So it feels like you either build her or you're going to have a really, really, really hard time. So yeah, I mean, I can see her being really, really good. I respect people who build her, and I see like why she's super good in the content. I just don't like it. I don't like being forced.
Okay. Did you take her into any of the trials? Well, I think by trials I really mean Trial of Flow because that's the only place she can be used. Have you tried her in Trial of Flow?
Yeah. No, I don't think I've tried her in Trial of Flow. I've been using DACA for that, so it works.
I mean, yeah, it does, and I mean, we've done some tests with Zera on the trials, which we'll probably touch upon.
Oh yeah, I've seen people using her for trials, and it looks really cool. But it's like at the same time, I'd rather go with my team that I like, and
Yep.
it works. So why mess with it?
Fair enough. Well, my last question to you is did you do her story mode, or did you skip through it?
Oh, I went through the story mode.
You went through the story mode. What did you think of it?
I thought it was really good. I did really hope that they were going to have her kind of redeem herself, and that's why we get her as a hero. But with how the story mode ended, I think that still kind of works. It fits in with her character really well, and they didn't make her a villain per se. They made her kind of like a tragic villain, not just like I'm out here to
I'm out here to
be
just
the Joker
cause
and be a terrorist. I'm just tragic. She doesn't know any better. And I really do hope that we get to see more stories like that, because I think that was a really well written story for King's Raid.
Okay. All right. Well, Earl, what do you think of Zera and her PvE? I know you've gotten some chances to actually talk to people. Have you used her yourself?
I mean, I built her a little bit. I mainly just like use her for Shakma. I don't really have a need to build her for Flow, because I got Esker for that. So it's kind of Papega in my mind. But I mean, she's all right. I mean, her kit's just like some of the more recent heroes. You know, you get multiple layers to it and whatnot. I'm not really digging the route that they're going. I liked back when it was more simplistic. So I don't know. I think it's kind of iffy for me.
Okay. What did you think of her story? Did you go through the story? Let's do it this way. What do you think of her story, and what did you think of the actual bonus chapter that we got?
To be completely honest with you, I skipped the majority of the story content when the server came back on. I just wanted to get cracking at the rewards and like start off at Shakma, because doing 100 clears is a pain.
Okay. I mean, I'll be honest, that's fair. Okay. And you said you haven't really taken her into Flow yourself because you use Esker, but so you've used her in Shakma, right?
Yep.
And what do you think of her performance in actual Shakma?
It's not that bad. She definitely has good damage mitigation. Her kit, I mean, mine's kind of a Papega build, really. I just use her as a support, pretty much. Just build her tanky. You know, obviously, like Shakma, he has no mana or anything like that. So, I mean, she's tailored, suited to this content.
Definitely. I actually agree with you on that one. Okay. All right. Jen, so as a person who this I believe your opinion would actually be incredibly valuable, because I think unlike us, you're kind of like you kind of view in as things kind of drop in terms of content, so you're not always involved 100% in the game. What did you think of Zera and when she got added into the game?
I like the story a lot. Like going back to what I said before, I'm really happy with what Vesta's been doing story-wise, and what they've been, and how they've been adding it, and how they've been trying to get more characters involved in the sense of like how the story goes. Like one of the things that was kind of missing to me is that characters kind of just did stuff, and that's kind of what the story was, by just doing the stuff. And now with Zera, it was really cool to see all these old heroes that we've been accustomed to see and done stuff with, and then how they are kind of like all interconnected in like this little web that's going on with the story, and how that progressed from there. So that was actually really cool. I haven't done a lot of Shakma. I've just kind of started doing it a little bit, and I haven't gotten really far at all with it. But from what I've seen so far, it is a really interesting fight, and there does seem to be quite a few different comps that you can do, which is kind of a plus to me. It really pains me to see whenever you bring up new content and then there's only like, oh, you need to have like this hero or that hero, and that's it, and you can't really do anything else. So a lot of people keep saying that you need to have Zera with her. She's a new hero, she's designed to go with the boss, I understand that, but it is nice to see that you can run other heroes as substitutes to do stuff with that. So That's pretty cool too.
I think one of the coolest aspects of actual Shakma himself is the fact that it made one of the most useless artifacts in the game relevant again, which was
Yeah.
the dagger. And it was a joke because a lot of us were, and I think I can confidently say this. A lot of us were wanting to grind artifacts, and if you asked a person what artifact they wanted to grind the most, it was either always Tome of Black Magic or the Sorceress Black Dagger. So it's kind of funny how Shakma comes out and immediately everybody's like, "Oh, where's my dagger? Let's go."
It's kind of funny because I had a 4-star just sitting around because I'm just like I'm just gonna keep it in case it's ever useful somewhere in PvE, and it came around. I was like, that's pretty cool. All right, there we go.
I'll get to chat in a second because I've definitely been watching chat as this scrolls by. There's been some comments, but Bravel, what did you think of Zerad, and what do you think of her PvE, and have you gotten the chance to actually use her yet?
Well, I don't have a chance to use her, but I am carried by her. With I think yesterday Tesh basically carried me through the CR. We only do 2 mans, and Sarah actually did massive damage, which is
That's actually
I'm-
interesting.
I'm-
That's awesome to
yeah.
hear. I don't think really anybody's talked about anything outside of Flo or Shakma, so it's nice to hear that she bullied the heck out of Challenge Raid.
Yeah, she definitely can do challenge raid fine. She's kind of like well, she's definitely not Laudia level, but she's probably much better than Kara for sure. And let's see other than that, I know a lot. I don't raise Sarah. I mean, I still have her as like T5, but no unique weapon or anything because I'm not a magical man. And as for Shakma, I have Raquina, which is basically a Sarah for physical anyway. So I don't intend to raise Sarah anytime soon unless she's like super buff in PvP. Oh, and as for PvP, she's still a question mark. I saw a lot of PvP Sarah, but
questionable Zeras in PvP. We'll get to PvP in a second.
yeah, all right. And as for this, do you want to talk about the story too?
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you do story or did you skip it? I mean, it's fair if you skipped it, but did you do story?
oh, I do story fully because there's audio.
You saw audio. I was like, I need to do story. What is this audio
Yeah.
doing here?
Oh my god, the story is very good. It's like I like how it begins where Sarah is like very neutral with the Audi Graphy next gang. It's like, and she's like, well, she's definitely not. She's deep down a decent person, and she's just tragic. I think she will redeem herself soon because Vespa does make her a hero, and it's not right to basically get a villain for a hero, right?
Well, I mean, Urze's technically a villain, maybe. I mean, we'll see how that
Yeah.
road goes.
And also, I also interested in knowing who's the shadow, the mastermind behind everything. Maybe he's the final boss. Yeah.
Well, I agree. I really enjoyed the story. In terms of the actual bonus chapter that we got for the Aegina Desert, I felt incredibly bad for Kayn. I know a lot of us in the PvP community, and I think a lot of some people in the PvE community also do not like Kayn, especially because of his kit and how much a lot of us consider him a cancer. But I have to without a doubt and say I felt incredibly bad for Kayn. He was such a good big brother, and yet, Chakma still fell to the darkness, which that broke my heart, and I felt so bad. They tried so hard too, and I was like, oh, I couldn't deal with that. Yeah, I'm looking at chat. A lot of people are like, I love Kay. Oh, okay, except Say Sarah, which is, I mean, we know what Say is like, so it's okay.
Kind of remind you of Kirito in Uja, isn't it?
You know what? Yes, I'm not gonna go that route just because that is a soft spot for me, so I'm not gonna touch on that too much. But yes, it definitely sounds a little bit like that. All right, so we kind of got that out the way. Giraffe, have you seen Zera in PvP?
In the times I've been playing, I haven't really seen her, and I don't really use her. I pretty much got my set theme, so I think I've seen one person use Zera, and I didn't really notice her do anything, and I just don't know if it was just she wasn't as invested, or she just didn't have a good matchup against my team. So I don't know. I'd need to fight more Zeras to find out like how rough she can be in PvP.
Okay. I mean, it's fair. I mean, it's only been about a week since her release, so not a lot of people have gotten to test her. I can speak more so on the PvP side because I've actually tried to test her quite a few times, and I know there's a number of people in chat who have actually played with Zero in PvP. So, but you yourself, you haven't really tested her, so you really don't know too much, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Earl, what about yourself? I know you're a big PvEer, so the PvP side might be a slight dud.
I mean, I've seen.
I know you've been joining the
Confa's
streams
stream.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know Confa lost to. It's probably just a bad matchup, perhaps, but he did lose to a Zera in PvP. I mean, I don't know. I just haven't really. I've only seen like her like twice in PvP so far since her release. Probably not paying too close attention, but she seems like a wind-up hero
Okay.
in my mind.
Jen, how about you?
I actually have not seen her in PvP at all, so I can't comment.
All right. Bravel, I know you've probably seen her a few times considering how much you PvP.
Yeah, I saw in PvP. She is pretty slow. That's one thing. She is very slow. And I did test with Sarah a lot when she came out. It's like basically we just do a lot. And well, because I use Ken, so basically she doesn't do anything to Ken, obviously. But other than that, I do notice that she stack up some damage, but it's not a massive damage. She's not like Ophelia level kind of damage, and she is at most very decent, but that's about it. I think she's more for PvE, definitely not PvP. PvP is like
So,
she's not doing enough. Yeah.
Chad has been going kind of crazy over the PvP side of it. A lot of them saying that she has a big wind up. I actually kind of agree with Chad. I'm not going to say that she's incredibly good in PvE, but I do think she's incredibly niche. And she has a big wind up. So I think, again, I'll be honest, Zero would probably do well against bruisers and walls. I don't think she's going to be able to deal with burst at all. I think her most powerful matchup is probably going to be against walls because she'll have time to kind of ramp up. Because if you guys remember the very first... yeah, don't die. If you guys remember the very first day of release, I went ahead and I streamed 20 League of Honor tickets and I tried to take Zero into every match. Obviously, that's not going to be the perfect indicator, but we pulled her into enough matches to know she did not do very well against burst. And on some bruiser matches, she did incredibly well. On others, not so much. And we only faced one wall, and the one wall we ended up facing, she ended up absolutely wrecking. So I do think that Zera has potential for PvP. I just don't think it's that high, at least in my honest opinion. So that's kind of my thoughts on it in terms of at least the PvP side of it. If you could make one change to Zera, Giraffe, what would it be?
I don't know. I don't use her enough.
You don't use her enough?
Speak to
Which
that.
is fair. That's totally fair.
I don't know. Maybe. Nah, I don't know enough. I'm sorry, man.
That's okay. That's totally okay. Earl, what about yourself? If you could make one change to Zera, what would it be?
It's tough to say because, like, with her wind up, she can be a solid single target DPS. I don't know. I just haven't seen enough testing on her to really like recommend a change. I'm hoping for Warbus 1 that she has good results.
Okay, that's fair. Jen, if you could make one change to Zero, what would it be?
I haven't played enough with her, so I'm not really quite sure what I would change.
Okay.
I'd probably... Gwyn made a comment. Like, one of the things that he mentioned in the chat was make her scale animations faster. That is
Yeah, I
definitely a
disagree
thing
with
about
that.
her, where it's not just like getting her going as an engine standpoint where she ramps up. There's also that where it feels really bad where she doesn't have like a thing of, if you wanted to use her in PvP, she doesn't have a way to become CC immune. So you could easily stun her out of some of her animations, and that just feels bad.
Faster skill casts. Okay. Breville, what would be one change if you could make to Zero? What would it be?
Well, I'm PvP guy, so if I want to make change for her to make her better in PvP, probably some kind of perk or UT to make her like gain like reduce the time she need to do S2.
So essentially faster skill animations, really.
Yeah.
or
No,
or
not-
at the very,
not
or
just-
lower the cost to
Lower
get into
the number.
darkness or something.
Yeah, like I remember, like she get into full potential if you use S2 3 times. Am I correct?
She has to
And-
use. She has to get 4 darkness stacks to enter darkness, so she has to use
Yeah.
skills 4 times.
So yeah, so it's kind of like it's kind of remind me of Ezekiel, where he has to get to the certain amount of stack to get into darkness state. So maybe one fix is just to give her like 2 stack at the beginning to
Oh.
make her like faster activation.
Doesn't her S4 Dark allow her to get it immediately at the start of a battle?
There is, but she can't gain darkness for 40 seconds after. There is a perk.
Yeah,
for
that. Yeah, that
Okay,
is
so
like,
if you were trying to go for like you wanted the power immediate. Okay, I gotcha.
Yep.
And
So
be it for a specific comp.
yeah, I'm keeping up on chat. One of the comments that definitely stood out was actually came out of Trillo, and he was like Zero coming out during diver meta is pretty unfortunate. I definitely agree. She's a mid range hero. There it is currently diver meta, so it's kind of a really bad matchup for her. Otherwise, everybody's thoughts in chat are pretty much kind of the same. Where she needs to be a little faster. You know what? I kind of agree because even if you stack attack speed, some of her animations are just incredibly slow. Period. I do agree though. She does have 2 cleanses, both on her S2 and her S3. They're self cleanses, and I mean her kit is pretty nice. It's just I don't think it really is very impactful in PvP. But I think otherwise, everybody kind of agrees with you guys. I'm kind of still trying to go through chat real quick. Again, a lot of them are.
Is there artifacts maybe or something to play around with PvP wise to give her CC immunity? Because you could live with the slow cast times if you just can't get them canceled. Because that's what's going to hurt the most.
Talisman.
I mean, there's perfume. There is perfume, which procs after a certain amount of CC. But the thing is with Zero already is she already has 2 cleanses. It's just it's still the animations themselves are still pretty long.
Yep.
The best probably way to handle her, in my honest opinion, is to somehow grant her CC immunity through either like a Lowen Shield or a Desarta S2, or something of that nature, or even try to buy her time with a Kane S1 if you can get it to land on Zera.
That's fair.
I think other than that, I mean, her kit does have 2 cleanses already.
I mean, the fact that she is slow is, I don't know, it's kind of like a double edge. Like, in one hand, she doesn't cast skill fast enough, but you can basically just relocate her stat to more offensive. She kind of remind me of like when I use Audi with no attack speed. So it's like the cleanse duration is getting much longer, and you can benefit a lot from it. But yeah, that's about it. That's like just one gimmick that is good from the attack speed. I know a lot of people like want her to be fast cast and everything, but I think there should be some merit on the no attack speed build as well.
Okay, this is actually an awesome comment, and a lot of the PvEers might relate to this, especially you, Earl. Valley Rips said the S4 perk to start Battle in Darkness is more for Eclipse than anything else. I can tend to agree with that one. Because sometimes eclipse waves can go so fast. Just coming into battle immediately in darkness mode, I think, is actually a really big perk to trying to use Zero and Eclipse. What do you think?
Yeah, I did see. I think it was like in the mid 40s or like stage 50 Zera clear. I don't know how whale that comp was, but I remember seeing that. So she has potential. I'm not gonna lie.
I think with only being kind of a week and a half in with Zera, she definitely has a lot of potential. You know what? That's also something probably I would like to try is probably take her into Eclipse and see how that's like. But that's actually a really nice comment that kind of came up in chat, so I'm kind of happy about that. Otherwise, the chat is like shove up on her or shove a mask or using Pocket Watch. I think Pocket Watch is not too bad, but Pocket Watch can only do so much. All right, I think otherwise most of the comments, attack speed doesn't affect her S2 or S3. Okay.
And going back to that, I mean, yeah, you're right with Loman with the shield and other ways to give her CC immunity. It feels weird having a character that has 2 self cleanses and then you could get that canceled, like stunned out of that if you wanted to and remove debuffs. I don't know. It feels like the kit's kind of fighting against itself a little bit by giving her 2 self cleanses, but then making her cast animation so slow.
Well, see, my contention with this one is her bread and butter for terms of DPS is her S1 and her S3. Now her S1 is a projectile, so if she gets CC'd out of it, the projectile kind of gets interrupted, which kind of sucks. Otherwise, it has a fairly decent cast animation. The really powerful skill is actually her skill 3. Even though it cleanses, if she gets it cleanses every second. So if she gets CC'd in the middle of the cast or setting it up, you literally wasted the entire S3 cast for the most part. S3 Lite has a field effect, that is correct. Just S3 when S2 is on cooldown. Pepega. The projectile is still going off for me even after getting CC'd. Oh, that's an interesting observation. On my end, it doesn't normally hit.
She does remind me of Urza a lot, isn't she? Kind of like same mechanism of shield, protecting herself, revive, and some type of like spammable.
Klep is commenting that you actually can't get CC'd out of S3. I've had it happen to me a few times. I'm just not sure what the actual condition of that was. Maybe I guess it's just worth a few more tests to see what it's like. I know you can't get CC'd out of the initial part of S2 because that's also a cleanse, but probably got to do a few more tests with Zero myself to see what that's kind of like.
Is she CC immune then while she's casting?
Technically, when you have a cleanse, the initial part of the casting is just immune, but I've had. Oh, it's likely a Dispel CC that stops you. That is certainly possible, and it could definitely be that. It could be a Dispel CC that stops you. There is definitely that comment right there. It's certainly possible.
Dispel CC isn't that common, isn't it? So.
I mean, you got Radiance now. There. I mean, it's more common than you might think then. Leo, yep, Leo's definitely one too. Yeah.
Leo was Dispel CC, yeah.
Dispel CC. Nixus too. Okay, yeah, some of them are starting to come up in chat. Yep, there's definitely a few of them. So I've had that happen, probably just not often enough, but there's some conditions where she can't get CC'd out of S2 and S3. Probably Leo being one of the biggest one.
I understand that's part of the balance when it comes to PvP too. Like if you made every character CC immune, then like that just makes it broken. It's just
old Scarlet.
Her cast animations just feel way more longer than a lot of the other characters. That's just one of my things that I've noticed.
Okay.
It could be just be part of her kit, and that's the way they wanted it, and then something to build around.
Well, do you guys have any final comments on Zero while we kind of look at chat to see if there's any any more comments, really? Do you guys have any final comments on Zero yourselves?
I do not.
No, not for me.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, I think chat is pretty much established. I think for right now, for what we can see is, I think a lot of us say Zero is definitely balanced. I think one of the things that made me laugh is there was a day one, I think it was a Flow 7 clear, where I think it was a 0-star Zero was able to down Flow 7 really easy, and I believe it was Lunite that did that. So I thought that was incredibly cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's been bragging about it a little bit in PvP.
I know, and you know what? I would give him bragging rights. Let's be honest. A 0-star Zero downing Flow 7, I would say you definitely get some bragging rights for that. That's my honest opinion.
Oh, I always just joke with him because he has whaled us.
Whale support.
That's the key takeaway. I just didn't want people to get the wrong idea. Like, oh, a 0-star, with 2-3-star supports can clear 7.
Fair enough. You know what? That's a good comment to make, though. This way we don't give anybody who's listening to the podcast the wrong idea that Zero is that incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
That's like Math flexing about Rodina's common unique weapon. I remember that.
Meth, you're being called out with Rodina. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could keep on moving. Little Boss Shakma. I think that this one is Devour Shakma, correct? Correct. This is Devour Shakma.
Yeah.
Little Boss Shakma. Giraffe, how were your initial interactions with Little Boss Shakma?
I thought it was gonna be really easy because I tore through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I hit 5. And I'm like, oh god, what is happening? My Theo can only do so much damage. I think 5 is about where you kind of realize, like, man, I really need that mana drain effect. And it's really cool. Like, it really pushes you to kind of like start using heroes that you don't normally use. It really pushes you to look at how you're building your supports, which I think Lefty and I were talking about this the other night, where it's like, this is one of the few times that I've ever had to care about how did I build my supports? How much have I invested in my support heroes? Because normally we only talk about DPS. I don't think we normally really care about how are we building our tanks? How are we building, unless you're PvP. But like in most content, we don't really care about the tank. We don't really care about the support. We care about, okay, how much damage are we going to deal? And then in Shockmay, like small Shockmay, holy crap, you actually have to care about, okay, do I have enough attack speed? Do I have enough HP? Do I have enough block? Do I have the stats needed in order to ensure that my supports are able to keep my DPS alive?
Okay. I mean, I'll be honest, fair. A lot of us were in a very, very similar boat. So, have you been able to down 6 and 7 yet?
I barely cleared 6.
Barely cleared 6. How far into 7 are you?
I haven't even tried.
Oh, haven't tried. That's fair. That's totally fair.
No.
Okay. All right. And then, you know what? We'll circle back and we'll pick up some final comments towards the end. Earl, little boss Checkmate, what are your thoughts?
It's definitely a challenging content once you get to stage 5 and up. Obviously, everyone hated the fact that Team 2 was bugged and not properly using skills. So, I mean, it's like, when you first try it out before they fixed it, you know, you're like, what the f am I doing wrong? Majority of it's like, gear check. Have you had decent investment in your support so they just don't get insta-bop within the first 5-10 seconds before you can get, defensive buffs up? I mean, stage 6 and 7 definitely, I feel, should kind of be toned down a little bit, especially for people who don't have like, A1, A2 DPSs to, DPS it down fast enough, because obviously you don't want to prolong the fight with him.
Yep.
He just gets more damage boost every time you knock him down or whatnot. But I don't know. I'm content with it, but then again, the initial release on it could have been handled better, I feel.
Okay. So I assume you down 6 and 7 just fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, me and you cleared 7 at the same time.
Same exact time. And I can't remember, was it just before or was it after the bug fix?
It was before. We think we did it before.
High five. It was, I'll be honest, it was frustrating me. I was sitting at work, I had my tablet on the side, and every time I failed, because I would get him down to like 30% on stage 7, and then he'd randomly damage spike, and I'd wipe the team, and I'd sit there just frustrated, and I'd go shuffle artifacts, gear, and heroes. And I just wanted to make sure I cleared the first time with, obviously, Castle. But yes, the frustration of 7, I feel it, guys. I definitely feel it. And as a PvP main, it was definitely on the challenging side for me.
Yeah.
And yes, I do remember we cleared at the same exact time, because I remember our screenshots hit the PvE Discord at the same exact time, and we both did the worry like you just cleared. Yup, right? Did you? Yup. Jen, have you gotten the chance to run Little Boss Checkma?
I've done it a little bit. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay. I assume you cleared at least up to 3 or maybe 4?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts of Little Boss Checkma? Kind of like what you're kind of seeing in front of you right now. This is only stage 5 because it's just easier to auto farm.
Same thing that Giraffe said. It's cool to see that you actually have to, going back to what I said even before, it's cool to seeing new content where it's not just the same heroes that can be used. You can have different teams, and you actually have to put a lot of thought into how you're going to be setting up your sports. Definitely for this content.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I can push. I'm pretty sure I can clear 5. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
And I'm pretty sure you'll be able to. 5 is not too bad. I mean, it is a bit of a wall, but it is the first time where the mechanics slightly change, which is a lot of people have issues with it. But I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do 5. I have confidence in that one. Bravo, how about yourself? Little Boss Checkmate. I know you've gotten your chance to do it because you've been striving for those artifacts.
Yeah, but it's like a contradiction. Like, I've been wanting those artifacts, but I've been distracted. So I only okay. Trilo's gonna hate me when I say this, but I only auto for, and I do like 5 per day. I don't run the entire 100 ticket like normal people.
Okay.
I did try 5, and it's like I definitely need a lot of work on my PVE roster holy hell, my units are so weak. It's not weak, it's just not enough stat for that content. And then yeah, I do dispatch up TD just to rework on my entire stuff. But other than that, I like how they add the mana block into the no mana drain into this as a requirement. Like does bring up like a very old PvP only mechanism that makes a lot of heroes become useful. Sarah was definitely designed for that. But there's also Raquina. I think Lambda also tried with Shamila, which is pretty interesting.
That's actually really. I'd like to actually see that, and maybe I can convince Lambda to give us a Discord stream with Sham on Checkma. I'd like to see how that goes.
Yeah, it's like and then the daggers. Yeah, body dag. They want to
Everybody's
ride it.
running dagger. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I have a 5-star dagger, unfortunately, and I get to use it, so I'm happy.
So I actually have a confession because I was actually incredibly frustrated with 6 because if you guys remember when I first went live with the stream, and I did the stream last week on Tuesday for the new patch, I actually was not able to clear 6. After getting off of stream, I was talking around with a lot of the PvEers, and everybody, including Val, kept pushing me to build Rihardna. So I bit the bullet and I built Rihardna, and suddenly stage 6 itself became such a breeze. And if it wasn't for Rihardna, I definitely would not have cleared 7 for sure. But it was actually really funny because I had a lot of her gears. I just had no interest in building Rihardna. Now I kind of actually really like her. Outside of the hair tumor that she has, I think her design is really cute.
Yeah, Rihanna is just like if you notice the recent PvE content has been whether you have Rihanna and everything become very easy like Eclipse and Flow, or
I've
you don't have
heard-
Rihanna
I've
and
heard.
everything become hard. Yeah,
I definitely
Very
have definitely heard that. So yeah, I did build her hard now because of Shakma, and I've now taken her into a number of places, and I think she's really cool. And Vel helped me clear with a lot of the flow trials, well, yep, she's pretty powerful inside of the flow trials too.
I actually don't have Rayhartna built. What does she have over other?
She has.
It was her S4. Mostly it's her S4, where it basically increased the heal rate irremovably, and it stacked like 3 times. So basically, over 3 wave, you have like 30% heal rate increase, and it's not, and basically a lot of like. And then there's her S2 as well, which is a shield, and cooldown reduction is always good, but that's about
Okay.
It's mostly her S4.
Well,
Maybe I'll start looking into her then.
Rihardna is probably definitely a big boon for PvE. And to be honest, she helps physical heroes a lot too. So if you're on a physical comp, Rihardna is definitely the way to go. Yeah, and on Checkmate, she definitely gets to stack those. Yep.
Yeah, she's like the share of PvE now. It's
Okay.
like not many people actually use share now. A lot of people use Rihanna now. So
Definitely. All right, so let's shift the conversation to Big Boss Shakma, which is, I'll be honest, one of my favorite content in this entire patch. So, Giraffe, what do you think of Big Boss Shakma? You at least
wanna
got to
fight
do
him
the trial
more.
one.
I want to fight him more. Like, I wish it wasn't 100 to. I wish it wasn't 1% per ticket, because I really want to fight the big boss a lot more. It's so cool because it's not a style of combat that we're used to. It's almost completely auto, and then it's just all about timing your buffs and stuff, which I think is just so awesome. But I really want to fight him more, and so that's my only complaint, though. Like, we don't get to fight him as much.
Okay, that's definitely fair. Earl, Big Boss Shakma, come on. What was your favorite? What do you think?
I mean, it's an interesting design that they went with, splitting up the teams to a front and back line. As far as like some of the mechanics or whatnot, I mean, some of it you can just kind of bypass. Like on stage, I think it's stage 5 and up, he does the tree on the front line
Yep.
where you have to destroy it or it's an insta wipe. But
Yep.
if you get him down to 66 percent HP, you can just bypass that. Same thing with the 33% HP threshold.
I did not
So-
know that myself. That's actually pretty interesting to
Yeah,
know.
that's how Lunatic cleared it originally. He with his clear.
Interesting. Interesting. I
Yeah.
actually, because I've killed the tree, so I wasn't sure, but that's actually interesting to know.
Yeah, and I'm kind of in the same boat where I'd like to fight him more, but you have to do 100 runs of the mini boss Chakma to you know,
And you only
fight
get
a
5
big guy.
runs a day.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they may rework it in the future, but who knows? I'm content.
Well,
with
the
it.
rewards are pretty big, which I'll definitely touch on, because if you cleared 5, you got your option between 1,200 frags of your choice, on top of or 100 gold ethers. So I
Yeah.
thought those were some intense rewards, to be honest.
Right.
Jen, did you? I know you probably got to run the trial, at least the first stage of Big Boy Shakma. What did you think?
It was definitely different, and I agree with that. Where it's like, I'm probably gonna look forward to playing it since it's such a new and different thing that Kingsraid has never provided before. So I am actually a little bit more excited to try it now.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It was definitely interesting. I'm curious to see. Actually, now that I've seen like what they've done with Chakma, I'm kind of curious to see what they do going forward. Because if they're willing to do things like this for the game and add content like this and put the effort into making the game a lot more interactive from a PvE standpoint, I'm actually a little excited to see where that's going to end up taking us in the future.
Okay. You know what? I will wait for my turn. I'm excited, but I will wait for my turn. Bravo. What did you think of Big Boy Shakma? I know you at least got the first stage done for part of the story. Did you do another 100 clears to get your?
Nope.
Not yet.
Nope.
Okay.
No,
Well,
not
from
yet.
the stage 1 clear, what did you think?
It was awesome. I mean, the all the camera shifting, all the effects, the fact that you need the tank for your backline, yeah, all of that is like very interesting. And I do want to fight him. It's just that I was too distracted. I'm sorry about that.
That's so fine. It's okay.
Yeah, I do really want to fight him, and I know the reward is very good. So I probably should do that once I finish farming my gears for my small shot mirror.
Okay. Personally, I love Big Boy Shakma. The number one thing that I fell in love with were the 2 additional skills that we got. If you guys remember, on the side you had 2 additional skills. You had, I believe it was Hygienist Protection, and then I cannot remember the name of the lightning skill, but you guys had 2 additional skills on the side of the actual raid itself. And one of my favorite aspects was, actually taking a look and timing those skills, especially on stage 5, because it was critical on stage 5 to start timing those skills. And one of my extremely favorite aspects was the fact that you had to get the CC bar down to a certain point, or I believe it was completely empty. Otherwise, you would actually wipe. But if you had it down to a certain level, Kane stepped in and he blocked the attack for you. I thought that was incredibly cool. And if you needed that boost to your CC, you used the actual little lightning skill, and it just it did a big chunk of the actual crowd control bar. So I thought that was really cool. And like I said though, if you needed the heals on your melee, you hit Aegis Protection. They healed for a lot and they got nice protect. I thought that was really. I can say without a doubt is I can't wait till I finally get to try step 6. If you guys in chat have actually run Big Boy Shakma, you guys know how amazing the rewards are, in my opinion. And I kind of said it earlier, where you had 1,200 frags of each type just from stage 5, and you were able to also pick gold ethers or additional Shakma frags. So with all that said, while I let chat kind of get their thoughts out before I start reading them aloud, do you guys have any final comments about Big Boy Shakma?
I do not.
Nope.
Nothing.
Got nothing.
Nope.
Yeah.
Got nothing. I'm laughing because chat is quoting the producer. If you guys remember from that vid, Magic has the upper hand, and it's going through. Magic has the upper hand. Hap, you farm stage 7 with physical. Yes. Physical is still completely competent. I agree with you. They can do it, but yes, Magic has the upper hand.
Flynn, you sounded like you wanted to say something when I made my comment. Was that just talking about?
It was
you
the
got a big
additional
boy
skills.
Shakma?
It was the rewards and
Okay,
the additional skills. I like I said, I fell in love with the fact that you had specific additional skills. Oh, and the rotating buffs too. I don't think any of us really touched on the fact that there's rotating buffs for both Devourer Shakma and Conqueror Shakma, and every time you defeated Conqueror Shakma, the buffs rotated. So that
yeah,
always changes
that's
up
right.
your lineup and your artifacts. So I thought that was actually really, really cool too. Buff Fizz, thanks. Magic has the upper hand. And I agree with you, Lucas. The roars that they put in for Conqueror Shakma, yes, they are totally worth it. 100%. I agree with you without a doubt. Definitely in that boat right there. All right. So, I think with that said, we can jump on to our next topic, which is, I think a lot of us are waiting for him, the new Shakma artifacts. You guys, we got the Helm, we got the Dagger, and we got Radiance. And I'm pretty sure everybody here knows what the effects are, but just to give a quick recap. Radiance, if it is dispelled within the first 5 seconds... Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Don't burn the place down, Breville. I know we're having a pretty lit conversation, but we don't need to set the place on fire. So if you guys know the 3 artifacts, Radiance, which is if it's dispelled in the first 5 seconds, 2 random enemies are dispelled of positive effects, and they're knocked back, and they lose a set amount of mana. And if it doesn't get dispelled, the hero is cleansed of all effects, and they take reduced damage. That's a switch overheating. And then the Helm, if they take a certain amount of damage, 2 enemy heroes lose a certain amount of attack. And the Dagger is you lose a certain amount of HP and you gain a damage and crit buff stack. So we definitely have some 3 fairly powerful artifacts. And let's go ahead and kind of dissect them. Giraffe, what are your thoughts?
I think they're really good. I think it's gonna make tank comps just really annoying. But also, I think it does help deal with the constant burst comps that we've been seeing, which I'm ready to see that kind of go away. I was getting tired of Nyx Ruru comps, and then Kane came.
They're already dead. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, they've been dead for a bit, but at the time I was like, man, I'm so sick of this. And then Kane came out. Now I'm like, oh god, Kane. And I don't know, like I don't do enough PvP to really like worry too much, but like I'm as a Theo player, I really don't like burst comps.
Okay.
I love tank comps though, because Theo doesn't care. But like I do want to see like new metas. I'm kind of getting tired of like same metas. Diving seems pretty interesting. I'm looking at building more seriously on Gibby as well. But like just the specific artifacts, I like the helm. I like the sword. I'm iffy on the Radiance. I think that's like I'd have to find a good place for it and kind of look to see how I want to use that. I think I might use it more for Guild War, because I think that'd be really funny, since that hits like 2 heroes. That's basically 2/3 of the team getting hit rather than half the team being affected. So I think I'd rather use Radiance for Guild Wars, but the helm and the sword are something I would definitely be using.
Okay. And do you think you have any PvE use for any of the artifacts?
Well, the helm, I thought the helm said something about you can't, it's not really used for, it says like specifically hero, doesn't it?
I believe
one of them
it
said
is
specifically
damage to
hero.
your heroes. Now you got me curious. Well, Not fine.
I'm looking at it.
I thought the
now.
helm specifically said damage dealt to heroes. was
Damage
reduced.
dealt to heroes. Yeah, so I thought it
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
Oh.
it's kind of like a defensive artifact for damage dealt to your heroes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to like reread those
Yeah.
because I might use them. I thought for some reason that they were like only relevant for PvP, but
Okay.
I'll look again. But I don't think I'll be swapping them out anytime soon. I might use the helm in place of Spooky Pumpkin if there's like more than one enemy or something like that. But
Okay.
yeah.
Well, Earl, what are your thoughts on the new artifacts? I know you probably have some comments about the dagger for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean the sword is pretty much busted, man. I've seen a lot of people saying Book of the Mad's dead now. I mean, it's not dead, but it's limited its use in a lot of PvE content now, just because like World Boss 2 sword gets dispelled. That's the main caveat to it. I guess it's
Yep.
probably Vespa's logic of balancing it. Okay, Isu. But no, I mean more so for me, just because I'm World Boss player and PvE side, I'm gonna be focusing on sword. Helm and Radiance seem kind of memey, but it's definitely freaking hilarious seeing like all the Leos get knocked 20, 30 feet back in arena from their insta skill 3. But
I don't think you
it's
can
a-
knock Leo back from insta Q3, isn't it?
Yeah, you can.
you
I
can,
mean,
yeah.
it does take 3 skill, isn't it?
No. We're talking about Radiance.
Oh.
Radiance. If Radiance gets
Oh.
dispelled, it can hit Leo.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're interesting artifacts for sure. So they'll definitely be shaking up PvP for the most part, I feel.
Okay. All right. Jen, you probably haven't had the chance to actually use the artifacts themselves, but
No, I'm not.
what do you think of the actual concept of them?
I think they're broken. I mean, right? When you introduce something new, you always want to be good enough where someone will use it. You don't want to introduce something and it's like, well, that doesn't seem useful. Why would you make something like that? So, I say they're broken because in the current meta, they're very powerful. Does that mean that when everyone kind of starts getting them and using them, are they going to define the meta? That I don't know. I'm
Okay.
sure other comps will come out and find ways to get around them.
Okay. All right. You know what? That's fair. I'll leave that alone then. Breville, my friend, what about you? I know you've been looking at the artifacts for sure. I know you don't have them yet, but what do you think?
Well, do have 3 artifact. All 3 interesting. The sword are more on the PvE side. I don't know how to use that in PvP. Probably some chase men can probably do that. I do know that Helm is very powerful in PvP because it basically just make Nixuru kind of bad. It does affect Maria comp as well because Maria S3 is definitely more than 3 hits. And there is also the Radiance is kind of niche. Radiance is like sometimes when you see Brock, it feels that it doesn't matter because meta was going for like CC resist frontline, either that or frontline have CC immunity by himself. So it affect more onto the backline, so it's more against burst too. But then if burst is already backline, then they got knocked back further away, then they just be in safe spot. So it's very niche, I know, but it's very good when it needs to be. Maybe like knock back for Cassell or Chase or Burn to move to the backline.
Well, I saw Rez. He said if you didn't know, stacks don't go away when you go under 25% HP. Just stop stacking. Yes, that is definitely correct. And to clarify, this sword does not dispel your artifact. If you go below the 25%, it does just stop stacking. However, this sword, the stacks are dispellable. So if you're running in content that there's dispel, you will definitely lose your stacks and you gotta start all over again, unfortunately. So personally, you guys have seen me now do a few Discord streams where I'm literally testing Radiance. I gotta give it to you guys. I love Radiance. Radiance makes me laugh really, really, really hard. We've seen a lot of screenshots, including a Requena who got pushed out of the arena. I mean, we've had we've had some funny memes come out of Radiance. I think Helm is incredibly powerful. I think Burst is going to be in a really, really bad spot. Probably for a good while unless we see something that changes. But yes, it is forcing a lot of frontliners to build things like CC Resist and just more defensive stats because, puts you in a really bad position if you're Burst. One of the cool aspects that I did find, and we did this through some testing, and I will thank Meister again for helping me with this. We ended up testing Radiance, and there are a few heroes who are immune to the effect of Radiance if they get targeted for it. One of them being Scarlet, and one of them being Nyla. So if Scarlet S2s and it hits Radiance and decides to hit her back, she does not get the knockback. She does lose the 1,000 mana, or the mana. There is the mana loss, and the same thing with Nyla. So there are a few heroes who can ignore the effect of Radiance, which I thought was really, really cool. But definitely some big memes because of the Radiance artifact.
Radiant is basically Roaring Tiger, but cooler.
That's really funny. Yeah, it's a Roaring Tiger, and it's really awesome because it reapplies every 10 seconds. It's definitely really awesome because it reapplies every 10 seconds.
I mean, Roaring Tiger also reapply. Just that when you're at that HP, you just die. So.
And I'm just kind of going with chat. So, do you guys have any closing comments for the actual artifacts themselves?
Nerf when?
Nerf when?
They'll probably have to revamp them at some point in the future, I feel.
Okay. Giraffe, what about you?
I mean, I don't think they're that awful. I'd have to see what higher stars would look like in practice, because on paper, the Radiance is the one that sucks mana, right?
Yes, it knocks back, dispels if it gets dispelled.
Yeah,
and
that
takes away
caps
mana.
out at 1,000 mana.
No,
Minus
actually,
1,000
it's
mana?
1,000 mana at 1 star.
Oh, I thought it was at 5-star.
Nope.
I have a question though. If you are CC immunity, do you still get mana drain?
Yes, the mana
Yes.
drain still hits. The mana drain still hits. You just don't get the knockback portion of it.
Alright.
Yes, and the clear test of that was also Scarlet. I had Scarlet where she was immune to the knockback, but she still lost her 1,000 mana.
Interesting.
It's 2k mana when it's 5-star.
That's
Right? Yeah, that's what Lucas just said. Okay,
that's pretty
Someone
up
else in
there.
chat said that.
Dang it.
so
Yeah.
that's a lot of mana,
Yeah, it's a lot of mana.
especially when you're talking about in PvP terms.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to think of who to use Radiance on. It's very hard to decide who you want to put Radiance on.
Yeah. I personally ran mine on Lias, but everybody knows I do take Lias everywhere. So yes, it really depends on who you want to run it on. I'm kind of looking at Chad. I mean, Say says he wants to put it on Ponyo. There's a lot of Nerf Nyla, Pepega. There's a lot of Unscuff. I don't know really what to comment. Chat, what do you guys think of the actual artifacts? What are your thoughts on them while we kind of wrap up our thoughts on them? Personally, still need to give Helm a test myself because I have not properly put Helm. I'm just too scared to swap out my golden mask for Helm. But what I may do is I may swap out the artifact maybe on my Desarta for Helm. So if I ever have to pull in Desarta, I can just, I have Helm on her, which kind of would help. And I have Radiance on Lice, and I'm currently using that, so I did swap that over. I have not really started using Dagger yet. I do have a Dagger. I have not used it yet. Have you guys been using any of the artifacts, or are you guys still waiting?
Actually, I've been test with Chilo because he wants to test the helm.
Okay.
It doesn't really reduce damage that much, but it's probably because it's low star.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think helm is very powerful. Yeah, but I think it may be a bit overhyped, or maybe the heroes at this point the damage is too much. That helm reduction doesn't matter anymore. There are heroes that basically just bypass the helm damage reduction. Like Lilia is one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. The damage is a bit way too much. That helm damage reduction doesn't matter.
I'm kind of curious to see how comps go who like to run mages, since they have deception already. And if you put it on your priest and then they proc the damage down on the attack dealer, so that could easily still be useful on. You could play a burst comp into that. I don't know. Because you normally put that at what? Do you put it on your priest or your tank usually for something like that?
Which one?
Yeah,
Which
you
artifact?
normally only put on the helm.
The helm.
The helm.
It's usually on tank, as a lot of us what are theorizing is it's good to put on tank.
You mean Chilo? I think Chilo is the only one who actually tests putting it on tank. The rest putting it on breeze. Yeah, that's pretty sure.
Okay. I put Radiance on my priest, so I mean, again, like I said, it's only been about a week and a half, and not a lot of people have these artifacts just yet, too. So there's definitely a lot of that stuff going on. Okay, that's still completely fair.
Is the effect always on there, or if you have CC resist, can it not be put on you?
So if the artifact has a CC portion to it, you can resist the CC portion or be immune to it, except for stuff like the mana drain. You can't be resisted to against like the attack down, and it's undispellable, uncleansable, etc., etc.
Okay.
So there's definitely some aspects to it. Going at chat, a lot of them are saying I tried Helm on tank, pretty bad since Mask is still working better on tank, but maybe it's just because my tank has a 0-star UT. Zagforce said running a burst comp, it feels bad, man. It feels like now I have to wait for 15 to 40 seconds before enemy bruisers and tanks just chip you out in terms of damage. Says I said he still doesn't have a sword yet. I wouldn't think everybody has all the artifacts just yet. Radiance is good enough to counter burst. I actually really agree with you, Kachan. I do think Radiance is definitely good enough to counter burst, especially if it hits backline heroes. Kind of just, it puts them out of commission for a few seconds, buys you quite enough time.
The buff goes on to the highest attack heroes, right? Or is it random?
I think a lot of these artifacts are random, except the Helm. Is the Helm 2 highest attackers? I have it, actually.
The helm is two highest attacker.
I actually have it. Hang on a second. We can definitely take a look at it. Come on, maybe. I will go down to the Helm. Here's the Helm. Increases max HP by 24% and deals damage 3 times. Reduces damage dealt to heroes of self and to enemies with the highest stack by 55% for 5 seconds. Yep, removable and has a 30 30-second cooldown. So yes, definitely highest attackers.
1 star already. What a whale.
Oh, you just had to go and call me out, Earl Face.
Hey, this was the casual flex. That's why you had to pull it up.
Yeah, right.
Okay. No. The casual flex would have been swapping over to the Soulstone tab, but I won't do that.
No,
Don't do
that. Don't do that.
that. We don't need to go that route.
You'll make the other whales feel bad about how much you super whaled.
You'll make me feel bad.
Leviathan over here, jeez.
So I think with the majority of that said, now would be kind of a good time to start doing some question and answer with audience and between us. Now, outside of the patch, outside of Shakma, Giraffe, do you have any thoughts on King's Raid in general and anything you might want to get across?
I like where they're going with with stuff. I think they're making some really good progress and like giving us content that is challenging, and pushes us to do stuff, do like different stuff. And there's not really a just build this one hero because that's the only way you can win. Cough, cough, Ladia, cough, cough. And I just like that they're like making the time to like upgrade stuff, find ways to make things easier, even for new players. Like the mission stuff, I think is going to help new players catch up a lot faster. I do think that the distance between whales and casual players is like now just insurmountable, but I think that they've made really good steps to just kind of help decrease that distance for new players to travel to be able to do stuff. So all I want from them now is like more just social media stuff. I would love to have CM Frey like do a Twitch stream or like do some stream. Like I would love to see her streaming content for King's Raid, or getting together with the GMs and like kind of doing what we're doing here, just like, talking, hanging out,
That'd be
answering
really cool,
questions from the
actually.
community, all that kind of stuff. Like I played Warframe for a while, and they do like dev streams, which are super popular because you get to sit down, check out the devs who like are actively doing stuff, and get to see like sneak previews of like stuff that is being worked on, and also getting to like get your voice heard by the team that's working on the game. Like very few games have that, and I would love to see King's Raid kind of do more communication wise with the community and CMs, GMs, or even devs. Like I would like to see that kind of stuff a little bit more. But other than that, I mean, I think they're doing pretty well.
I kind of agree with you. Though obviously this is not concrete and nothing official. Back during the creators meeting, when we were able to speak with the team who was putting this program together, we actually discussed about potentially having every once in a blue moon, and I say once in a blue moon because I don't anticipate happening it except on a very rare occasion, is to actually try to get them into a Discord call and have a podcast stream with either a CM Frey or a GM Luna or any of their. So we were talking about trying to do something like that, and obviously we still don't have necessarily plans to do that, but that's something personally I really would like to do, and I think it'd be really great for the community to sit there and kind of also ask them questions, and if they can answer it, have them be able to answer that directly. I thought that was something really cool. That's something I am going to try to get them to agree to, and again, like I said, it'd probably be once in a blue moon, but I agree with you. I would love to see some official content creation from them as well, outside of the music videos, because we all love Dreamcatcher, so we see a lot of those, but it's like an official stream.
She does.
Yep.
The videos that CM Frey does, like I love those, but I just want to see. I would love to see more, and I think that's just how everybody would feel. Like I want more. I would like more. I would like more, and I think let them move at their own pace if they want to. But like, here's some ideas. Like that's just me talking.
I can agree with that.
Earl, what about you? Any closing comments? What do you feel?
Nah, I don't have any closing comments.
Nah, I'm just gonna stay here. It's fine. Jen, how about you?
I agree to that with the stat. I think it's really cool when developers have social media things where you can get together and not even necessarily talk about game stuff. There's some devs that on their off hours just chill and stream themselves and play other games. And occasionally you'll get people asking questions about the game and maybe they'll say something, but getting to know the devs a little bit more personally is always a fun thing when you can get to do something like that.
Okay. All right. Bravo.
Well, I do a lot of good points have been talked. Like we want to talk to the dev, we want to talk to the people behind the game. How do they work? How do they think process? Are they thinking the same wavelength of ours? And yeah, maybe I hope that they will actually come. They will actually like show up in person in Discord, maybe in your Discord, or maybe in the KR Discord, and actually talk to the player. And that would be a very great opportunity to. I mean, they do that in the channel 1, but it's channel 1, so.
It's channel 1.
And
What are you guys laughing about? Channel 1's a great place.
Smile.
and then I do like the fact that they have been trying to publicize the game more. I mean, it has not been done a lot in the past, but recently I don't know whether you watched Win stream last night, but it was very great. They do publicizing, they do sponsor for a lot of giveaway to celebrate his birthdays, etc.
Yeah.
And it's very sweet gesture of them. And I like the direction that they're going for, and I'm looking forward for them to do more of that, to basically incentivize players to join in the community and like involve more and like maybe have some fun while doing it.
All right. I mean, I'll be honest, I couldn't agree more. I would love to see a lot more community and outreach and involvement. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Well, you know what, guys? I think that kind of pretty much wraps it up in terms of all the topics. I really can't think of anything else. I'm kind of looking at chat. Everybody kind of is in agreement about at least a more unified community, kind of working together, trying to see just, kind of getting more dev involvement with, kind of outreach. So I think with all that kind of said, you guys, thank you so much for being today's guests. I really appreciate you guys for joining me on this podcast. I hope everybody in chat kind of enjoyed it. I don't want you guys to close out just yet. I got a 10-question trivia set up for you guys. And anybody who participates can get a participation prize. And the top five winners of the trivia will get some mythical soul fragments. So I got those pretty much ready to go. Now, I do have one request. If you guys hover over the actual stream screen itself, there is a little bubble that says Quiz Kit. You need to authorize your name to show up on the leaderboard. If you don't authorize your name to show up on the leaderboard, I can't tell who you are. So I won't be able to give you your participation prize, nor will I be able to give you your mythical stone fragments if you make the top 5. Otherwise, I am going to go ahead and get the quiz started. There are 10 questions. You'll get to, there's multiple choice. You guys will get to answer it. And then I will drop the link to the Google form so that you can get your participation prize as well. If you do not authorize your Twitch name using that little tool right there, you do not get your participation prize. So it's literally just that. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. You guys, I am going to drop call so that I can run the final 10 questions. Once again, guys, I have Basic Giraffe today. I had Big Earl, I have Suvi Jen, and I have Bravel in chat with me. I would like to thank them from the bottom of my heart, and I would like to everybody in chat, if you are there, to also give them a thank you for joining me today, and I will look forward to the next podcast. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and drop call. You guys, I will see you guys shortly after the stream.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you,
All
Flynn.
right.
Thank you guys, appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Flynn.
Yeah, thanks, Flynn.
Alright, so for the rest of you guys in chat, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start the quiz now. Remember, to authorize, all you got to do is hover over the stream screen itself. You'll get a little bubble that says Quiz Kit. You click it, and then it says Manage Access, and you have to grant the permission to get access to your ID. I hope you guys are ready. Here we go. How do you get in? It will pop up on your screen. All right. If it should, if you scroll over to the top, scroll over the screen, you should get a little bubble on the side that says Quiz Kit. Yep, so we're about to get started. All right, here we go. All right, you guys ready? What's a Cabera? Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. Really nice. We got ourselves quite a few people. All right, here we go. Next question. Now, if you guys know me, you should know this for sure. They're gonna start off easy. They're gonna start off easy. Oh, looks like we lost a few people on that one. Look at that. I had so many misclicks. Oh, we're getting more people. All right. Very nice. Give me more Kipera questions. All right, they're gonna get harder. Cody, you should be able to just simply answer the questions. Oh, looks like we're starting to lose some players on these questions now. If you're looking in the game, you're cheating. Get him, Gwen. Tell him, Gwen. No cheating allowed. Let me go ahead and get ourselves a nice... Let's go to the soundboard. Oh, very nice. There we go. We got a good batch right there. Really good batch right there. Very nice. Shoelace is on it, guys. I'm seeing Shoelace's name a lot. There you go, guys. That was an easy one. Now we got more people together. Who chose Yuria? I would love to, Hap. I will definitely love to. Hap, what I would like to do is towards the end of the stream, I'll have you join the Discord. I'll be more than happy to show you whatever you'd like to see. Oh, we got ourselves some experts. I thought that one was a difficult one. Good job. 21 people got it right. More than 2. All right, next question. This one should be an easy one, guys. Oh, it looks like I got some people with that one. I definitely got some people with that one. Look at Say. Say tapped that one quick. Nice job, Say. Alright, second to last question. I see I got some people with that one. Oh, look at that! We still edged out though. 15 people are getting it right. That was incredibly close, guys. Alright. Alright. Are you guys ready for the last question? Very nice. Alright, let's go ahead and get our last question. This one's a personal favorite. If you know me, you know this. I had to make the last question about my castle. Oh, look at that. That was incredibly close. That was a good fight. That was a really good fight. Alright, the final results. Oh, look at that. Izuni, Shoelace, Leo, Poon, and Bunny. Congratulations. You guys get the mythical stone frags. If you guys are in Discord, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link if I can find my own button. Go ahead and jump into my Discord and I will give you guys your rewards. For everybody else who participated, I do have the full list of participants. You guys, I would love for you to go ahead and fill out this form for me if you participated, and I will compare it to my Twitch list. This is to go ahead and get your 300 rubies. You will get mailed in-game 300 rubies directly to you guys, courtesy of Vespa. For the top 5, Izuni, Shoelace, Leo, Poon, and Bunny. You guys, I have coupon codes for you guys. Make sure you are in my Discord. It'll be the easiest way to get you that. Let's go ahead and... Somebody was asking about how my castle looks, so let me go ahead and give you my PvE castle. This is what my PvE castle looks like. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So, everybody who has joined me today, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. Thank you guys for coming to the podcast. It truly means a lot. I stream for the extreme fun of it. I do this for fun. Nothing makes me happier than if you guys just simply enjoyed it. If you like the stream, nothing makes me happier than a simple follow. Go ahead, give me a follow. This is a special week where we have a back-to-back stream, so I will be streaming normally tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It is League of Honor. Thank you for the follow, 2D Dragons. I do appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. You guys, I hope you... Quiz time is my new favorite thing. I'll be more than happy to give you guys a lot more quiz times if you truly enjoyed it. I'm trying to keep up with chat too. Thank you for the follow, Neb. Welcome to the stream. And additionally, Carla, Hap, R1C4, Lax, Kafer, Yahuri Gaming, Prince, and Vlad. You guys, thank you so much for the follows. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. I do hope you guys will continue to join me. Tomorrow we will be doing League of Honor, 50-star castle. I would love to if there was such a thing. RNG was on my side. I hope you guys truly enjoyed the stream. A big thank you to Vespa for the support. Again, you guys, if you have not joined the Discord, I will throw the link in one more time into chat. It is the easiest way for me to get a hold of everybody and to keep in touch and to get help. We're a friendly community. We're tight-knit, and a lot of us are vets. We don't bite, I promise. So just come on by, stop by, say hello. and enjoy. And Zach, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it, and welcome to the stream. You guys, love you guys. I will definitely see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, where we do League of Honor, League of Victory, and Bravel's Challenger Reel. We can't forget that Bravel submitted his video late, so I have Bravel's video ready to go for you guys. You guys have a good night. Love you guys.